The foundation of a profitable cattle business is healthy, high-performing animals. From an animal health standpoint, one of the biggest threats is still bovine respiratory disease, or BRD. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter takes us to Nebraska to learn about some of the key steps and tools available to help detect and prevent BRD.
In north-central Nebraska, Clint Pischel runs 750 cows on his family ranch that dates back 7 generations. He also operates a feed yard. With his experience in both segments of the cattle business, Clint knows the value of preconditioning his calves.
By doing the 90 to 120-day weaning period, along with the extra rounds of vaccinations, we're adding value back to those cattle. We're getting them ready there's no feed yard that won't bid on them. Due to that, we're, depending on the year, we're seeing, a 20 to $60+ premium per head.
Whether it's on the cow-calf side or in the feed yard, the biggest threat to calf health for producers everywhere is bovine respiratory disease.
So bovine respiratory disease, BRD, is still one of the biggest battles that we fight in the beef sector, both in pre-weaned and then in the post-wean time frame. So we've seen a lot of challenges.
BRD has been a huge issue here. If you don't have vaccinations in by the right time frame, we're seeing with the droughts we've had the last 3 years, we're seeing huge problems with dust pneumonia, a lot of quick pneumonia, and nothing stops it until you run them through the chute and you get that vaccination round through them and get them going on that, get their immunity built.
At the cow-calf level, a sound preconditioning protocol builds that immune system and sets a calf up for good health throughout the production cycle.
If we wean at home, 45, 60 days, those are the animals that buyers really see the value in. We see increased growth as far as the cow-calf person. They're selling more pounds. They're selling a product that is going to be successful, and the buyer realizes that, and they're willing to pay more money for those animals.
All of our home-raised calves, when we wean, they already have a preconditioned shot. Then we give them another one at weaning time. And having that dual round of vaccinations through them, we will treat 1% or less out of every calf weaned all the way through sale time.
And Merck Animal Health we introduced an intranasal vaccine, Nasalgen 3 PMH, a couple years ago. A great product that combines viruses, the common viruses and the common bacteria that we see associated with BRD, and it fits into that cow-calf space. It fits into the initial start of stimulation of the immune system as we look at the production cycle.
At the feed yard, there are often higher risk calves coming in, so it's essential to have an on-arrival protocol aimed at preventing BRD or any other health problems.
A lot of the cattle that we feed come out of West Virginia. When those calves arrive, they get a Nasalgen product, they get a Vista 1 shot, then we'll hit them with a wormer, and along with a Vision 7. Depending on the weight of those cattle, after about 45 days, they'll be ran through again, given a second round of vaccinations. Typically, we'll give them an implant at that point.
We're also at Merck committed to bringing new technologies into the BRD space with Whisper on Arrival, stethoscope, as well as Sense Hub feedlot tools. In working with your veterinarian on bovine respiratory disease, treatment records become extremely important. If we're not measuring what we're doing, we can't really determine what type of success that we're seeing. Work with your veterinarian to figure out what are the things we want to focus on.
With BRD, one of the first priorities, which can be difficult, is early identification of a calf that's affected.
We know that if we have a good immune system, we put the right antibiotic in at the right time, at the right dose, we have a very good chance of turning that animal around to where a single treatment will take care of it.
The challenge is what you can't see. The challenge is, does that animal look fine, but it's running a high temp?
What we found is cattle are sick for longer than what we may think they are when we finally treat them, because they're a prey animal. They don't want us to know that they're sick, and if we're checking pens once or twice a day, we're going to miss some cattle because they don't want us to know that they're sick. And with some of the new technologies like Sense Hub feedlot that Merck introduced a couple years ago, what we found is we're able to identify cattle earlier with that technology, and when we compare it back to when a traditional poll would be, we're going to pull those cattle about 36 hours earlier. When we say, you can't see what you can't see, once these bacteria start to replicate in that animal and start to colonize the lung, that's when we're really starting to have challenges treating bovine respiratory disease. And that's where we need the immune system to help us. We're going to put an antibiotic in to try to knock back bacterial counts, but we've got to have a functional immune system that can come in and start to clean things up. That's why preparation of the immune system at whatever level, whether it's cow-calf or as we get into background, it becomes so important.
Cow-calf producers and feedlot operators both have more tools available today to prevent, detect, and treat BRD, and it's critical that producers fight that battle.
We're raising cattle for the consumer and to make a good finished product, and that can never be taken to full extent without a good vaccination program and setting everything up for the feed yard.
Reporting from Nebraska, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
For more information on Merck's lineup of cattle health products that can help your farm or ranch meet any challenges, just visit their website, mahcattle.com.